what's going on? Welcome to the weekend. It is September, and the weather is absolutely amazing in Texas right now, especially where we're at, Dallas-Fort Worth, North Texas. It's really nice, man. It's about 70 degrees, 72, something like that. It's really, really nice. It feels really fantastic out there. It rained a lot yesterday. You could kind of feel that front coming in, and it was really, really super nice. So I don't know where you're at, but I know most places around the country, it's unseasonably cool, which is awesome, and I'll take it because it's usually hell on earth here in fucking Texas. So I'll be okay with that. So anyway, hopefully everybody had a good week. I know I missed yesterday. I tried to get the podcast out, but man, it was raining, and I had to brew some beer with my buddy. And we needed to get a 15-gallon batch knocked out. He was going to be out of town all of next week, and it was just going to run a little too long. And we need that beer, man, and no beer is better than homemade beer. So that's why we make our own. It's fantastic. So if you make your own beer, kudos, and hopefully your beer is delicious too. Anyway, today on the podcast, going to be like a little mixture of a couple of things that are on my mind and get some therapy out. With everything that's out there these days, it's so fucked up in this world that you can't really tell up or down or left or right or north or south or east or west. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter that much. But we're coming in football season, and there's some stuff that's already making me smile a little bit. I'm super, super happy. I am not a Dallas Cowboys fan. I am not a Texas Longhorn fan. I am not any football team in Texas fan at all. At all. Zero. And then we're going to get in to the Kansas City Swifts a little bit, which is kind of funny because last night's game was fucking awesome. But anyway, so it's been really pretty badass, Granted, it's the second week of college football. I'm a big OU fan only because I'm from there, and I grew up an OU fan, and I just love my Oklahoma Sooners. Win, lose, draw, don't really give a shit. That's my team, all their sports, softball, gymnastics, basketball, baseball, you name it. I mean, I'm a real big fan of it. And if you're from Texas, you probably hate them. And that's okay. And I really don't give a shit. Everybody hates a winner. So, and then be like, well, if you quit taking our fucking players, then you guys wouldn't be so good. Well, if your players wanted to play in state, they wouldn't fucking go to Oklahoma. Write that shit down there, dillywad. But anyway, Oklahoma had an okay opener last week. I had a podcast, last week talking about Oklahoma or Texas, hype or real, basically. Texas, I think, is a little overhyped, I'll be honest with you. I think they're a little overhyped, and I think Oklahoma's a little underhyped, okay? I think Texas is going to be fine, but Texas was already sitting in a better spot than Oklahoma coming out of last year and in really kind of the year before, even though we beat them the year before. With that, I mean, I look at football on a real playing platform, you know what I'm saying? As much as I can't stand the Texas Longhorns, I still respect the football part of it. That's the reality of it. So the only problem that I have with Texas right now is the Arch Manning shit that's going on. And I talked about it in the other podcast. He's just such an unproven quarterback. And if you watch today's game, which the game just ended and I watched it, I'm just going to be honest with you. I get it. He's going to have some growing pains, but I'm not sold on him. He reminds me of Chris Sims when he came into Texas, and we just basically decimated that boy. And they were just an average football team under them. You've got to have a really good quarterback, I get it, to win. But it takes more than a quarterback to win football. You got to have a whole team, okay? And Texas has a really good team, I think, for the most part. There's a lot of drop passes, but a lot of those passes that are coming out from Arch Manning, they're not good. They're just not good, And don't let today fool you. There were some plays from San Jose State that if they were just, and I get it, I understand. Well, it didn't happen, so it doesn't really fucking matter. But you're missing the point. If it did happen, if a couple of those passes were a little more on time and a little more accurate, if they had a little bit better quarterback, man, that score would have been completely different. They'd have had probably almost 21 points on the board, and you would have had 35 or 38 or whatever the score was. It's San Jose State. Now I'm not saying that Oklahoma, oh God, set the world on fire because we played Illinois, state last week, but it's a little different. Illinois State's really better than. But we didn't set the world on fire either. So, let's just not go down that road. But we'll find out tonight, Oklahoma, Michigan. And I honestly, I flip a coin. Honestly, flip a coin. I don't know who's going to win that game. Heart-wise, you're always going to win the game. Oklahoma's going to win by 50. No, that's not going to happen. Could they? Of course they can. Of course they can. Will they? I wouldn't hold my breath on that. So we'll find out tonight. I think Oklahoma's a little underrated for who, what, when, where, and how, what we have on our team. Like I said, we were decimated from crapball Riley. And, I know our defense is going to be fantastic. I know our defense is as good as anybody in the country. Our offense really, honestly, could go nowhere but up from last year. They were just a rolling dumpster fire. So tonight will be interesting. So we'll see. I saw what Texas did last week. When you live here in Dallas-Fort Worth, really the only schools that are really in your brain at any given time is Oklahoma and Texas. That's the way it was in the Big 12, and that's the way it is in the SEC. For us in this region, those are the two names that are out there, and that's and the two don't really like each other. The schools totally respect each other because both schools know that they both need each other. That's why they are in the SEC. It's not a Oklahoma came because Texas came. That's not how that went down. So make sure you go and do your research before you make a fool of yourself. But we'll see tonight with Oklahoma in the Michigan game. There's a lot of things I'd like to see to give my verdict on how I feel the Oklahoma Sooners are. I think, with our wide receiving core, we were pretty decimated last year. We really didn't have much of a team on offense because most people were hurt, and we had Jackson Arnold, which was, well, I don't want to tell you, but you may have a Jackson Arnold on your hands at Texas with Mr. Manning. and I don't want to say I told you so, but I've watched a lot of football over the 54 years that I've been on this planet, and I'm just telling you, there's some concern that you need to be aware of. The coaches aren't going to tell you shit. They're going to tell you, hey, you know what? Everything's going to be just fine, blah, 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 blah. Arch Manning is going to win some football. The question is guess what? All the little mop-up schools that he played, he did okay in. He didn't, set the world on fire. He did okay. The big schools that he came in and had his little hand at the realm, he got his ass smacked, and he didn't look very well, and he didn't do very well. And that's kind of where we're at right now with him. And that's your biggest concern because you've got about 3 mop-up games, and then you're going to have a few games that, man, you're going to have to step up or you're going to find yourself in a pickle. And I'm just saying these little schools may get him on track, but we'll see. We'll see. Back to Oklahoma, John Mateer. I really do think that John Mateer is the real deal. And the reason that I say that is just like everyone else. He's played. He's actually played in games, okay? And then I get so sick of well, he hasn't played in the SEC. Man, shut the fuck up. That doesn't mean a damn thing. And, he played in the pack, whatever the hell it is, with Washington State. Those are still highly recruited guys, okay? You still got to be able to, you still got to run, you still got to pass, you still got to do all the things that you got to do. Make no mistake about it. The guy's a good quarterback, okay? I watched what he did last week. I think he's the real deal. We're going to find out against Michigan. So I'm going to reserve myself, but I do think that Oklahoma is a little underrated. I don't want to go too deep into this as far as, the football aspect of it, because I definitely want to get into the NFL just a little bit before tomorrow's games. But yeah, we're going to find out where Oklahoma is, I think, tonight. And I pray to God that I don't get on here next week and I got to sit there and talk about how shitty we played, But it could happen. This is not a football channel. I just like talking about anything. I mean, that's really what this is about, and for you to listen and tell me what your thoughts are. I just think, Texas, I think their defense is really, really good. Today there were some times today that they really, against San Jose, they didn't do very well. And on the other side, Oklahoma last week against Illinois State, another highly touted defense. I think they had a few issues too. So my biggest thing is I don't know how good Ohio State really is. So we're going to find out in a couple of weeks. That's why I think rankings are really, really fucking stupid. And I think the rankings should be. I'd like to have a podcast on rankings and just tell you my whole views on all that stupid shit that goes into it. But I really think that rankings should not come out until week 5. You tell me what you think. If you're listening and you want to put a comment out there, you tell me what you think about that, because that's the way I feel about that. Now, tonight after the game, I'll reserve all my stuff for probably next week. On the podcast, I'll have just like a little mini briefing on how Oklahoma did, compare it to Oklahoma just a little bit. And I want to have a little bit because it is football season, and I get mentally invested into football just because I can't help it, man. I mean, I've lived in a football state, and it's just kind of been brewed into my blood. And if you're from Texas or Oklahoma, the odds are you're into football. So. But anyway, how about them Cowboys, huh? Did you know that you can go out and buy real Cowboy tears in 16-ounce bottles? They're $3.99 a bottle. Let them flow, baby. Let them flow. I think it is fantastic. The Dallas Cowboys, everybody's saying, they're going to come out and they're going to get Philly and they're going to – no, they're not. That's just one of many. You're going to be lucky if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan to get out of the East in third. I'll be honest with you. In third. I just do not see it. And if you're a Dallas Cowboy fans, man, give it to me. Tell me all about it. But I'm telling you right now, they lost. Jalen Hurts basically just ran all over them. Oklahoma boy, I know, but he played at Alabama. Yeah, well, he learned how to throw a football at Oklahoma. And that's where he's at right now, and that's how he won the Super Bowl. So on that one. Second of all, he did go to the Super Bowl. Neither did the Dallas Cowboys. It's been 29 years since you've even sniffed a Super Bowl. You haven't even made it to an NFC championship in that amount of time. And I'm going to reveal who my team is. And you go, well, you haven't done shit either. Yeah, but we've at least made it. There's a huge difference in that. You're paying Dak Prescott 66 mil a year, and then you just put him on the highest contract ever in history for a quarterback. For what? For what? What in the fuck would you pay him that amount of money for? And I love getting this off my chest because when I talk to my Cowboy friends, they always just turn around and they get all defensive and then they walk away because they know that I'm right. They know I'm right. You basically, Jerry is a fantastic owner, and he is a shitty GM. He is absolutely awful. He does not mind paying the money, but his problem is he's putting money and overpaying money in areas that he should not be paying, like Dak Prescott. I mean, are you kidding me? He literally just paid him the highest contract, like I just said, and he's done what? What has he done? If you're a Cowboys fan, give me that. And I don't want to see these stupid fucking stats either going, best quarterback in Cowboy history, look at the stats. No, motherfucker. He is not the greatest quarterback you ever fucking had. And your stats are stupid. Stats don't mean shit. Rings mean shit in the NFL. Have you won a Super Bowl? Did that quarterback win a Super Bowl? Has he even made it to a Super Bowl? And the problem with him is he's only got you 2 fucking playoff wins in how many years? Half of you fuckers don't even fucking know. He's only got you 2 playoff wins in 9 fucking years. 2. I'm a 49ers fan. Woo, bam, slap. Yeah, well, you guys ain't. Yeah, actually, we have done shit. We've actually won NFC championships in the last 30 years since we won a Super Bowl right before you did on your last one. We've actually played in how many Super Bowls? Oh, yeah, that's right. We've played in 2 of them. You haven't played in shit. Now, granted, well, you didn't win them. I understand that, but you can't win them if you don't play in them. So you got to at least get there in order to get it. Our quarterback, Brock Purdy. Say what you want. Brock Purdy is heads and tails above Dak Prescott. It's not even close. He's won how many playoff games? 4. He's been in the league how many years? 3. How many NFC championships has he been to? 2. How many has he won? 1. How many Super Bowls has he played in? 1. I mean, for a fraction of what you're paying Dak Prescott. A fraction. But I love you, Jerry. I love you, Jerry. Keep paying that money, because you keep frying that team to where they're never going to be anywhere. So it's been a fantastic NFL opening week. We got our Dallas Cowboys, the America's team that they gave to themselves. They were not even given that. They made it up for themselves because of that dumb star on their helmet. And the funny thing is my brother is a big Dallas Cowboys fan. I love giving him shit. But the nice thing about my brother is he is not delusional. Like 90% of all the Cowboy fans. Every fucking year. It's like the Texas Longhorns. It's our fucking year, bro. We're going to win it all. No, you're not. You're not going to win shit. You're going to win just enough to rip the heart out of all of your fans because you guys don't do the right things to do what needs to be done to go and get what you're trying to get. It's just not going to happen. And I love it. I fucking love it. You're just good enough to make your fans cry. And it's awesome. I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, the other part of the NFL that just made my whole, so far it's already made my weekend. Now, granted, we still got to play tomorrow. We're a 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock kickoff. We're playing Seattle Seahawks up in Crap Life Stadium. I think we're going to be fine. I'll be honest with you. If you are a 49ers fan, I think we're going to be okay. You know, I'm not really excited with the Christian McCaffrey news that came out that he's a little dinged up or there's an issue or something. I'm getting real tired of it. I get it. The man plays so hard that he hurts himself. I just wish he would train a little less heavy so that maybe he could actually start the season, and it'd be fucking fantastic. But anyway, last night was fantastic because guess what? You're starting to see it. The Kansas City Swifts are slowly coming apart. Now that it took, and I've said it since the fucking start, all those Super Bowls are horse shit, and I don't care. Go watch the footage. You can see it for yourself. I don't really care. They got more ref help than I've ever seen a team get in my entire existence. And I just literally every year I've been saying it. And finally, all of my buddies that watch the NFL finally listened to me and started watching the games a little more closely and started realizing all the holding, all the false starts that are not getting called. And just letting you know, that number fucking 74 on the Kansas City Chiefs, go watch last night's fucking game. He comes up out of his fucking stance almost 80% of the time, minimum 75% of the time. There should have been a dozen false starts on that fucker, and they still get away with it. He got called on a few, but they still get away with that shit, and it really absolutely just drives me nuts. it's not that I've got a hard on for the Kansas City Chiefs. You're like, well, they're just because they beat you in the Super Bowl. No. They have a trophy from the game that they played. Did they beat us? Nah, I've watched the footage. Whatever. Take your trophy, move on down the road. I understand it. That's just the way it works out. You know, they're not going to call it after the fact. But the last Super Bowl with Brock Purdy, go watch the very last play on that new super awesome, mega badass play, and go see what happens to Nick Bosa as he's about to basically blindside Patrick Mahomes before the ball is thrown. Before it's thrown, go watch it. And you tell me he's literally almost got his back broken from being pulled backwards because he's basically being horse-collared, pulled backwards. That would have been a 15-yard penalty. That fucking play would have never happened. You would have never won that Super Bowl. But guess what? They didn't call it. It's literally there. It's literally there. Go watch it. Anyway, moving on from that. But the funny part is, it's okay because everybody's on this bandwagon that the Chiefs are just going to, this is the norm. That's the way it's going to be. Patrick Mahomes, best quarterback in the world. Patrick Mahomes is a good quarterback, okay? If you're an OU or a Texas fan, you know who Pat Mahomes is. You know who he is. We watched him, man. I mean, shit, we used to play, you had to play him every damn year. He's a good quarterback. But he's not what everybody's making him out to be. He is a really good quarterback. I will not take that from him. And I think he's a decent guy. But I do think he's a Tom Brady crier, and he cries for fouls, and he's not getting them anymore, and it's nice because you're starting to see that package unravel a little bit. That team is slowly coming apart. And when you get beat that bad by the Philadelphia Eagles, and you get beat that bad by the Tampa Bay Bucks, I'm just telling you, I want to see where all these bandwagoner fans are in about 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years. Did you watch the game last night? All the not very good throws, all the running that Patrick Mahomes is doing, people that can't get open, all the butterfingers, balls being dropped, the low catches. It's not really that pretty. It's really not. And they talk about, oh, well, you gave Pat way too much time, blah, 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 blah. And they almost came back, man. They almost came back. But it's the NFL, and he didn't. He didn't. And that's becoming more and more and more and more and more every week that you see them play. Those days of the little miracles because they're not getting the help from the referees, you're starting to see that a whole lot more often now. And I love it. I'll be honest with you. I love it because I cannot stand the Kansas City Chiefs. They were never on my radar. And my thing is the Kansas City Chiefs were turning into the new New England Patriots. And I can't stand that shit. I just want a fair game, and I just want it to be played. If it's a foul, call it. And they should have instant replay for fouls. And they're like, well, the game will take too long. Well, at least the game would be correct. It wouldn't be a farce. It would not be fake. It wouldn't be, to where, that you're going to give a win when it potentially could have been a loss. And that's the part that I have a problem with. But the Dallas Cowboys and the Kansas City Chiefs both took a shit this weekend, and I love it. I fucking love it. It is absolutely fantastic, and I think it is amazing that happened. So, but anyway, hopefully you had a good weekend so far. Hopefully you're not a Cowboys fan or a Kansas City Chiefs fan. And you got some football that's going to come up tomorrow. And hopefully, your team will do well. I'm hoping mine does. If you're a Seahawks fan, we'll on you. And, I'm not a big fan of the Seahawks, the Rams, or the little chickens down there in Arizona. But it is what it is. And hopefully Oklahoma tonight will surprise me. That's what I'm hoping for. But anyway, other than that, I appreciate you. And hopefully you have a great weekend. And we'll roll through the week. And then I've got some stuff that I'm working on for next week that I want to talk about that's a little interesting. I kind of want to get back onto the Texas THC ban and the updates that came in. You know, I'm not a big harper. I don't want to have a channel about that type of stuff, but I just want to pull some stats and stuff out there from all this bullshit that everybody's saying, that they say, you know, weed does to people and with what it is. And it's just, yeah, I don't want to get into it right now. But anyway, other than that, you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy your football if you watch any. If not, take your wife out. Take her to dinner. I don't give a shit. Anyway, this is fucking Joe. I'm out.
Welcome